I think it's been a really, really easy transition since we got here in late July. Certainly the OLLU community really welcomed my family and myself in with open arms, and the kids have been very, very receptive to a new coach. Been working very, very hard. They're a great group of kids that we've inherited, and so I certainly am very grateful to my predecessors for bringing in a really good group of kids. I think there's a lot of talent there. And there's a tremendous amount of, there's a work ethic that's already instilled, I think, in these kids. And I kind of knew that coming in. I did some homework on the group we had, and that's what a lot of people told me about this group. It's a pretty good schedule. Again, that's one of the things that I think as a new coach coming in, it's one of the challenges because really we had no games besides our conference games scheduled. And so as a new coach, many teams already have their schedule ready to go. So I feel very fortunate to be able to get the type of opponents that we've been able to play. A lot of our non-conference opponents are Division II programs, which I think strengthen our NAIA national standing if we can get quality wins against them. There'll be some very, very good tests. A couple D3 programs that we play. The very first weekend that we play, we'll be playing at TLU, which is the defending Division III national champions, so there's not a lot better in the D3 ranks than those guys. We get to see them twice our first weekend. And then there's a new tournament down near, it's in Portland, Texas, down near Corpus Christi, and it's really just it's an all NAIA event. And fortunately for us, we've been paired up with a couple very, very good programs that are nationally ranked, including the #1 team in the country from last year who lost in the semifinals. So it would be hard for us to play them any other way at this late date, so we're fortunate. Just a good opportunity for us to have a little barometer of where we are early in the season. So I know our kids are very excited about those challenges. Because I don't really know the conference very well, so I'm just kind of going on where I think our kids are and how competitive they were in the fall. I believe that we should be competing for certainly getting to the tournament. I really believe we should be competing for a championship in our league. That's got to be our goal every time we play. Wherever I've been, that's kind of been a goal of ours, and we work hard to obtain that goal. But I have a lot of trust and belief in the kids that we have, and I think that they're working hard enough to kind of make a really good run at some of the top teams that are in our league, some of the Houston Vics and LSU A's and all the other characters that, I've looked at scores from last year. So challenging league, and we try to really do a really good job in our non-conference to get us ready. We have almost 50 games in the regular season before the May tournament comes around. So for us, everything we're trying to do is trying to build momentum and try to peak at the right time in May. And it's a very front-end loaded. If we're playing almost 50 regular season games, 25 of those are in the month of in the month of February, the very first month that we're playing. So we're going to learn a lot about our kids. There'll be a lot of challenges early. So I think at the end of February, we'll have a really good barometer as far as what we need to do to be competitive in the conference. CIERA is a 2-time all-conference pitcher. I believe that she had 155 strikeouts last year and 119 innings. And so that stat kind of jumps off the page at you. And certainly I've been very impressed with her throughout the fall and through the preseason so far as we're getting started. She's absolutely a kid. I think that we'll have a chance to win whenever she's got the ball. I believe even last year, even though our conference record wasn't the best, anytime she had the ball, we were very, very competitive, even against the top teams in the division. So the good news for us, though, is I think we have some good depth now at the pitching position, and I believe we can give her some run support, which is always important. But ARIEL Montgomery is a sophomore left-hander, and then Madison Nunn is a sophomore right-hander, and they're both just really, really good athletes that I think are going to see some time in the circle. We have a few freshman pitchers as well. Kelly Salinas is going to be a kid that will be, I think, a starter for us in periodic games. and she's also a freshman but a left-hander as well. So that gives us a little bit of a variety out of the pen for teams to kind of adjust to. Felicity Villanueva is another kid, and Alexis VALDEZ are all going to be kids who are working in our bullpen and are going to try to give us depth in that position. We have a handful, I think, that really we're kind of our leaders in a lot of different categories. Joanna Gonzalez was really, I think, our leading hitter at the plate throughout the fall. Kayla Dries is another kid I think is really going to do a good job for us and kind of solidify a spot in the outfield. We have a few freshmen as well that I think are going to make an impact right away. Terry Valderrama is a kid that suffered a fracture in her hand early in the fall, but I had a chance to see her play in the summer when I just got here, so I really understand what type of player she is. Powerful hitter and a very good infielder, and I think she's fully healed now from that injury in the fall, which we're very happy about. And she's having a great, early season right now in practice. And then there's another kid I think is going to secure and be a starter for us. We worked with her in the outfield throughout the fall, and then realized by the time we were done with fall ball that she was actually a really, really good infielder and had a lot of experience. But Caitlin Esparza is a young lady that I think is going to help us in a lot of different ways. She's super versatile. She started in the outfield for us at the beginning of the fall, but now she'll be in the infield, I think, and that's a couple of the kids I think are going to kind of lead us that are new faces. Well, we've been very blessed. Again, I had a brief stay in San Antonio a couple of years ago and loved the city, loved the environment, and through those contacts with some people in softball and so on, I had kind of a reference of a few people that as soon as I was chosen for this position, I reached out to. Unfortunately, they were available. So my very first phone call went to a select ball coach named Eloy Pacheco, and I just love the way he coaches. He does a great job with our kids. Alexandra Garcia is another person who I met a few years ago in the area, so I was very pleased when she was available to come on board, and she's done a phenomenal job with our kids as well. And then there's two other people who I've had the pleasure of meeting just a few weeks ago when I got here, and they both have added a ton. So our pitching coach is Jody Armijo, and he was a pitcher in his own right and played men's fast pitch for a long time and has a great rapport with the kids. And I really think the development of our pitching staff is really credited to his time and efforts with our kids so far. I've been very, very pleased with him. And then we have an alumni that's on our staff as well, Nick Espinoza, who is working on his master's and has come back to OLLU and just provides great energy for us, does a lot of our strength and conditioning, and all of these coaches just have a great heart for the kids. Well, it's tremendously important because it's such a value moving forward in their careers. I'm fortunate enough to have two of my own children who are in college at the moment, and so I get the big picture that this experience of playing college softball is really going to be over in a wink, but their degree is going to pay them back for the rest of their life. So it's very, very important. And obviously the great academic background and success that they have are really credited to their family and their upbringing more than it is me, a person who's just been on campus a few months. We really look for that first when we go out and recruit, because if you don't attract good academic kids, they have a tendency of really needing a bunch of help when they get here. And it says a lot about their discipline and their drive. And it really carries over to success on the athletic field many times. So it's absolutely one of those cornerstones that we look for when we're looking for kids. Well, I can tell you that we're excited about the fact that we actually have 20 home games, which this is a schedule that is really a national NAIA schedule. So we've utilized that to the fullest. We have the maximum amount of games that's allowed through the NAIA. And with that, we've really encouraged a lot of people to come to San Antonio. We've really worked hard and diligently upgrading our facility in all aspects. and hopefully fans, when they come, they'll kind of recognize some of those changes. And, you know, I think they'll be proud of our kids. I think, you know, if we do it right, it'll be a team that plays for each other, that's enthusiastic for each other, whether they're playing or not. And any team that's been successful that I've coached, they've always just played for each other. I would hope that fans have a great time coming to the ballpark. First of all, it's San Antonio in the spring, which is beautiful, and it's a great way to kind of come out and enjoy a great day. And I really think that they'll have a team and a group of players and coaches who love the institution, who are going to play with a lot of enthusiasm, going to have a blast, and we certainly invite them to come out and have fun with us.